This is your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Monday, November 5th. So glad you can join us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. The state-owned Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation has earmarked 116 workers to send home as part of government's restructuring program. This was disclosed this evening by Special Advisor to the Barbados Workers Union and former General Secretary Sir Roy Trotman, following more than 2 hours of talks with management of the CBC. Sir Roy told reporters the union now has to meet again with management on Monday afternoon to discuss in detail the corporation's intention.
We have not agreed to a number. That is what the company has said that it intends to send home. We will be dealing with that on Monday. But clearly the CBC has plans that they will be discussing more fully to the country and indeed to ourselves. And this would mean that they must have a major remake of CBC for the people of Barbados.
Sir Roy said that CBC has also agreed to offer voluntary separation packages to workers who wanted to go that route.
And we expect that sometime over the next 2 or 3 days, those persons who wish to leave CBC will do so. We were hoping to get an enhanced package for those separations, but CBC has been insisting that the circumstances of its finances are so dire that they are not able to go beyond what are the limits set out in the Employment Rights Act and the Severance Payments Act.
Meanwhile, there is word that government is actively considering granting more television and radio licenses to help boost the local economy. Information, Broadcasting and Public Affairs Minister Lucille Moore disclosed the move today as she addressed the launch of a new television series called the Awawak Company Limited Home Sweet Home Makeover Show at the Small Business Development Center. According to Moore, the audio-visual sector has a significant foreign exchange earning capacity and could contribute to economic recovery. She says government was therefore planning to issue more television and radio licenses since broadcasting can provide a viable avenue for employment. Minister Moore noted that local productions had the potential to earn foreign exchange if they were distributed internationally. However, she noted that this could only be done if producers delivered innovative, high-quality material. It is not a matter of if, but when a terrorist event will occur in the Caribbean. That's the view of Defense Attaché from the United Kingdom, Lieutenant Colonel Anton Gash, as he addressed a 5-day workshop on counterterrorism, which opened at St. Anne's Fort this morning. Gash cautioned that the region is a tempting target for the bad guys because of the size of countries. He, however, lamented that it was not getting enough attention since much of the focus is on reducing the trafficking of illegal drugs and weapons. Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defense Force, Colonel Glenn Granham, agreed that terrorism is a real threat and called for a coordinated approach to tackling the problem. In sports, 7-time Sovereign Award-winning jockey Patrick Husbands has been sidelined from racing action after being injured during a pre-race incident on Sunday afternoon at Woodbine Racetrack. Husbands was injured when he was dismounted from Islay Inlet before the 5th race. He suffered a broken pelvis that will require surgery, but was in good spirits this morning. A top jockey at Woodbine for many years, Husbands guided Wando to Canadian Triple Crown glory in 2003. Among his achievements, the experienced reinsman also guided 2014 Horse of the Year Lexi Liu to victory in the Queen's Plate and partnered with Silly Hill during her 2007 Horse of the Year campaign. The 45-year-old Barbados native has earned 3,285 victories and almost $160 million in purses during his career. A winner of 78 races this year through November 4, he ranks among the top 5 jockeys at the 2018 Woodbine meet.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional happenings in Jamaica, the parish of St. Catherine remains traumatized by the recent brutal killing of a 9-year-old boy. The child was reportedly chopped to death at the center of a domestic dispute. More in this report from Television Jamaica.
A child murdered allegedly by one of the adults who should be protecting him. He is 9-year-old Steve Johnson of Windsor Heights in Central Village, St. Catherine. His gruesome killing, the result of an argument between his mother and a man who residents described as her friend. We were told that Steve lived at this house with relatives. The police confirmed, however, that he was killed at his mother's house on Collins Crescent, some distance away.
Relatives went to the address and discovered the deceased, 9-year-old Johnson, and their other relatives suffering from multiple chop wounds. They were assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital where Steve Johnson, the 9-year-old, was pronounced dead. The other 2 victims were admitted in serious condition.
Head of the St. Catherine North Police Division, Senior Superintendent Clive Blair, said a motive still has not been established. It has been a traumatic experience for community members, including one of Steve's cousins, who was among the first on the scene.
My sister panigum, Sandy baby and Stevie on their bed. No, she did cover him head. So I'm putting there right beside the bed foot. I'm a dry him out.
He is just one of several children traumatized by the incident. Neighbors say they have had to take steps to help their children cope.
So my grandson get traumatized with my little granddaughter. So I have to send him down to their mother. One night, them don't sleep and the little boy body a nerve tremble. For to not understand these things, him just get traumatized and him not eating or nothing.
Steve's death is just the latest in several child murders this year. Last week, Junior Youth Minister Floyd Green announced that a national plan of action is to be launched soon to conduct more investigations when children are murdered.
And on the international scene, armed men kidnapped 79 children from a boarding school in Cameroon's northwest region. Government officials say the men entered the Presbyterian secondary school, overwhelmed the guard and forced him to take them to the sleeping children. The men took the boys and girls and tried to drive away with the school's minibus.
It was a gloomy atmosphere that greeted Governor Adolphe Lele-Lafrique and his entourage as they came to Presbyterian Secondary School Kwen Bamenda to have a first-hand knowledge of the circumstances surrounding the abduction of 79 students and 3 staff members of the institution, among them the college principal.
They have taken students from different dormitories, both boys and girls, to the number of 79 students with the 3 teachers, giving a total of 82.
One of the students who witnessed the scene of the kidnapping also recounts how it unfolded. Met with some worried parents of students who came to know the fate of their children. He called for calm and assured them that on the firm instruction of the head of state, everything will be done to bring back the victims.
Despite what happened here, the state government will not surrender. We are going to make sure the students, the people that were abducted, are brought back to the classrooms. Measures are being taken by the security men in that regard.
It is the fervent wish of all that the voice of reason should prevail so that the abducted can be released with immediate effect unharmed.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.